Celebrating and showcasing some of the most amazing people around the world who are doing incredible things to make our world a better place. This is CUTV News. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Today we spotlight Barbara Hardie, aka the Angel Lady. She's an ordained spiritualist minister, certified spiritual healer, medium, and counselor, as well as an international lecturer and certified master hypnotherapist. She's also the founder and director of Angel Connections. Barbara has combined her business experience, hypnotherapy skills, and spiritual awareness in developing the programs offered by Angel Connections. Her mission is to help individuals connect with their spiritual self. Barbara Hardie is also the award-winning author of Creating Heaven on Earth, and her third and most recent award-winning book, Darkness, Where Does It Come From? Barbara is currently working on her fourth book on the subject of miracles. And to learn more about Barbara Hardie's remarkable work, her mission, and her own life's journey, she joins us today in the CUTV News studios. Barbara, thank you for joining us here at CUTV News. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, it's amazing work that you do, and I'm very fascinated when I ask guests in the very beginning to tell us a little bit of their backstory. In your own life's journey, in your own movement forward, tell us a little bit about you in terms of what were some of the things in your own life that sort of guided you, that pointed you in the direction of doing the work that you do. Were there things that happened in your own life, in your own journey, that called you to inspire and empower and encourage folks in the way that you do?
Well, I started out in the corporate world, and as you know, there's stress in the corporate world. I'm a very sensitive personality, so I didn't deal well with the stress, but I had to hold up the act while I was at work. And one night after work, I got home and I had a meltdown, and I reached up to God, and unfortunately a very arrogant frame of mind, because that's where I was at the time, and I asked him to help me to find inner peace.
Now, Barbara, you're also an ordained spiritualist minister. Just tell us a little about that.
Okay, I had no desire. I just was happy to do the work that I was doing. And Archangel Raphael came to me and said that I needed to become a minister at a specific church.
3 books so far, a 4th coming out on miracles. This one, Creating Heaven on Earth, a guide to personal ascension. What was the source of inspiration for this book, Barbara, your very first book? And tell us a little bit about that writing process, too. As a writer myself, I know one of the hardest things when it comes to writing and putting it all down on paper is the very beginning, starting, getting those first few words on paper, because you assert in the beginning such importance to every single word you write. So tell us about the writing process and a little bit about this book.
Okay, well, I was told by my spiritual guidance when I started to communicate that in my soul contract, I had 6 books that I was contracted to write. The next thing I knew, Jesus came forward and he wanted me to because there was an epidemic of suicides going on, both with young and old, and he asked if I would put this information together. Suicide is not an option, and told the reasons why it's not an option. And I got all excited, and I thought, oh, okay, I don't really know about suicide. And then the reality came, who is going to buy a book that's suicide is not an option, even if so I could write it, but nobody's going to buy it.
Respond to that?
So I communicated with Jesus again, and I said, is there any way that we could put this in the middle of a book with other really good information that people need to hear about?
Right.
So actually that's how it came about. But the writing process, when you're channeling information, it's easy. The ascension part, I was already doing classes on that, so I just took my workshop material and I stuck it in the book. But the information, I had no way of knowing it. It came from Spirit.
But it also, the book, it explains humanity's purpose for being on Earth. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, humanity...
Sounds big.
Yeah, every single human has the same exact purpose, but then we have individual purposes too. So the purpose of every human is to reach the ascended master vibration. And when Jesus came to earth, he didn't come to create a new religion. He came to show us the way. He told me I was a way shower. I was there to show humanity what they needed to do because he ascended in that lifetime. And so that's what all humans have to do. We have to reach that 5th level of vibration.
Creating Heaven on Earth. I mean, it's a great title. What do you hope people get out of that book?
To know that it's our responsibility. That's why humans were created and the planet was created, for us to bring the vibration from the higher dimensions to a lower vibration, because the Earth was created at the 3rd dimensional vibration. We're definitely anchored in the 4th, and we're on our way almost fully anchored into the 5th dimension. So once every single human has reached that ascended master vibration, there'll be no purpose for the Earth to be here for us to grow anymore. We've reached our potential.
What I like about your writing style too, Barbara, is as the reader, you don't have to be an expert and be super knowledgeable on all of what you're talking about right now to get through the book, to understand the book. When I read the book, I really absorbed a great deal, but I didn't need to be an expert or, any of the things that you are in order to just to be open and able to receive. And I think your writing style is terrific because, again, it could be for the layperson, for somebody who maybe isn't understanding of all these different elements or components, but can still receive and absorb a lot from the actual text. Now, your next book, also award-winning, is Soul Releasement, Assisting Souls into the Light. This is another incredible book. Tell us about this.
Okay, well, that came about. I was going to do an ebook because I didn't think there was enough information to do a hardcover book. So what it is the soul releasement work that I do. In other words, if a soul is earthbound, a ghost activity in your home or something, getting them into the light.
Paranormal, which we're hearing so much about these days.
Oh, yeah, there's so many shows on TV about that.
Paranormal activities.
It's a self-help book to tell people how the process to go through that Spirit taught me how to do. And not only the earthbounds, but if they're attached to your energy or someone else's energy, how to release them. And all the energy workers really need to know how to do that, because what happens if they've got a client that has entities attached to them, when they're working with that client's energy, the entities release from the client, and who do they come to? The practitioner. And also the resting area, I talk about Whitney Houston's suicide. She admitted it was a suicide. But not only did she commit suicide, she stayed earthbound, she attached to her daughter, she went to the resting area, and then she got out of the resting area. And this was all with the help of Jesus. Jesus worked with me to help her to release her from the daughter's energy.
Now, your third and most recent award-winning book, which is this one here, Darkness, Where Does It Come From? Sort of an ominous title to it. It's a channeled book, including messages of encouragement from many of the ascended beings of light, as well as messages from celebrities and folks of note. I mentioned in the open Robin Williams and John Lennon, Marilyn Monroe, John F. Kennedy, and others. That is very intriguing. Tell us about that and how that works and how these folks of note you've connected with in this book.
Okay, well, that, when Spirit gave me that, now Jesus orchestrated that whole book, because I wasn't doing classes on that. I really didn't know all of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes, but he felt that it was time for humanity to know. And he's the one who made the arrangements. He went around in the higher realms and he asked these individuals to come forward to give me a message for the book about their death.
Okay, so these weren't people that you sought out or fan of or appreciated. They came to you. The fourth book, which again at the time of this video segment for CUTV News, is in progress. You're writing it, getting ready to write it. How did you come up with miracles? I mean, did that come to you, or was that something that, is it a series of miracles in your own life, perhaps?
No. Well, it may be, because I've been having a lot of them lately. But when I was writing the Darkness book, all of a sudden I felt like little negative things were happening in my life, and my mind thought it's because I'm writing about darkness. I'm focusing on it 8 hours a day, and I'm manifesting it in my life.
Yeah.
So I reached up to God and I said, you know what? I don't know why I put this in my contract, but I would like to get out of this contract because it's not comfortable for me. And Mother Mary came forward with that request, and she said, my child, she said, you will not, no harm will come to you for writing this book. It's something that needs to be out there in the open. And the next book is going to be a much more pleasant book for you to write. It's going to be on the subject of miracles.
I want to make mention, too, that the books are available on Amazon and, as we mentioned, Kindle as well. And your website is rich with information about you and the work that you do as well, and the workshops, the lectures, the sessions, everything, right? Well, Barbara Hardie, you are a wealth not only of information, but of inspiration and empowerment. And I applaud you for the work that you're doing. And we wish you continued success in touching as many lives as you can, because again, you are giving people a different perspective about themselves, about their journey of life, and that I'm sure you must feel like $1 million knowing that you're able to do that. I mean, you're learning and you're connecting yourself with so much, aren't you?
Yes, I'm very grateful for my connection with Spirit, because without them I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I am very grateful of that, and I'm grateful for CUTV bringing me on to be able to help spread the word.
It's our honor and our pleasure. Thank you very much, Barbara.
Thank you.
Barbara Hardie offers angel and/or soul purpose readings, as well as soul releasement sessions. To learn more about Barbara, her books, CDs, lectures, workshops, and much more, visit her website, angelconnections.com. I'm Jim Masters, CUTV News.